I'm Beakopin, and well, five beautiful, empowered, and very inspiring women. Please help me welcome the Binibining Pilipinas Queens of 2021. Hello. We have Binibining Pilipinas International Hannah Arnold, Binibining Pilipinas Grand International Samantha Panlilio, Binibining Pilipinas Intercontinental Cinderella Faye Obenita, Binibining Pilipinas Globe Maureen Montaigne, and Binibining Pilipinas second runner-up Meiji Cruz. Hi guys, I said that all in one breath. Medyo mahaba pala, like, your titles are quite long. Some of them are quite long. So welcome to Rappler. Thank you for dropping by on such a busy week for you guys. Diba? Parang you've been doing media interviews left and right. So first question, has it sunk in that tapos na yung pageant, you've been crowned, now you're doing media rounds? So whoever wants to answer first, go ahead.
For me, I think it finally sunk in yesterday. We had our official photo shoot with Sir Raymond Saldana. So he did our photo shoots when we were candidates. So the fact that we're now wearing crowns and we had a beautiful group shot, that's when I looked around and was like, wow, I'm one of the queens for 2021.
Yes, it's been very, very exciting. It's nice to finally relax and celebrate. A year and a half, truly a marathon of love. So we finally get to enjoy, relax, celebrate.
For me, it's like a 50-50. It has not quite sunk in just yet because yesterday someone asked me to do like a video greeting for them, like a birthday video greet. And I started with, hi, I'm Samantha Panlilio, Binibining #1, representing Cavite. So I'm still getting used to the title, but I'm very, very thankful to be here.
Well, for me, I just realized it last night. We had a dinner with my mentors and friends, and then a girl came by and then congratulated me. And I was thinking, oh yeah, the pageant has finished, and we are already the queens and the winners. So it was just last night I realized that everything is done.
Cindy, welcome back.
Yeah, sorry about the technical glitch.
It's fine. It's okay.
Yeah, so I'm still on cloud nine, definitely, because the last time that a Cagayanon represented herself in the Binibining Pilipinas competition was 3 awards back. That's in 2015. So that's like, 6 years ago. And then finally I'm here and it's my first national competition and I was able to secure one of the crowns. So I'm still overwhelmed and I'm really, really humbled by this experience.
Sorry, may side question ako. Cindy, Bisaya ka?
Yes po! Bisaya kayo. Maayong buntag sa tanan kapananaw.
Magbinisaya ta later, but for now we stick to English. Don't worry, girls. Okay. So you were mentioning earlier that it's been like the pageant was supposed to happen in April 2020. Of course, COVID said not yet, so it had to be pushed back to July 2021. Like, how do you motivate yourself? Like, if you wait for that long, diba? And then for a long time, like, there was so much uncertainty. Like, will it push through? How will it push through? Like, how will you stage a pageant in the middle of the pandemic? So, like, how did you guys, find the strength or the discipline to, still stay focused despite the long wait?
Well, definitely lucky for me because on my part, I am doing a lot of activities with the tourism industry and I am not so much affected with the delay. I know some of the girls were really affected financially, emotionally, physically.
Yeah.
But for me, work continued on because we've been very busy assisting LSIs and OFW during the pandemic. So parang opportunity na rin for me to really give back to the community because once Binibini resumes, then I'll be filing leave of absence again for work so that I can do my responsibilities with BPCI.
Yes, I also agree with Cindy. It was, for me, I had to pour myself into something new. So I was actually stuck in Siargao for 6 months.
Right.
Doors closed.
Well, that's not a bad place to be stuck in, though.
No.
Agree.
But, from there, assignment. Like, please make a video assignment with a florist. For me, I was on an island with one maleta. So I was like, okay, I'm just going to try my best and just focus on the community. We started a community kitchen where we gave families need hot meals and assistance. Siargao's main money was the tourism industry, so they were pretty bad. But I just focused on things other than myself because I found if I thought about it too much, it'd be sad. So you just had to keep pushing on and improving yourself in other ways.
Right. You can't let the anxiety consume you.
Yeah.
I would have to. Yeah. You want to go?
No, you go.
I would have to agree with Maureen. During the pandemic, I basically just used my time or my spare time as an opportunity to also give back to the community and, of course, immerse myself more in the advocacies that I'm passionate about. And so I love to cook. I have a cooking blog myself. I like curating my own recipes. And so during the typhoon, I cooked meals for frontliners as well. And I also started going farming in Cavite once a week. And it seemed pretty COVID free over there in the middle of the farm. So it wasn't a bad place to be either.
Mage, I can see you want to go. Ikaw muna.
Okay. Well, for me during the pandemic, just like ordinary individual going through this pandemic, I focus on myself, on my survival, on my mental health, on because things were really uncertain. Well, until now, and having the Binibining Pilipinas still um, postponed. So it helped me to focus, to redirect my attention and divert my energy to preparation. And gladly that during the pandemic, we also had interviews with the media. We get in touch, so at least we at least feel that there's still the people around me, the people who are waiting for the pageant to happen.
Hannah?
Oh yes. Well, for me, you said how did we stay disciplined? Honestly, I wasn't so good with that. I was working as a sleep scientist, and we had a beautiful cafe across from us. So every day, I would tell my workmates, "Who wants cake today?" So I had cake almost every day. I really forgot about the upcoming swimsuit competitions. But one of the things that really motivated me was honestly my relatives. My parents reminded me that this is my dream. Although we were worried with COVID and everything, they still said, of course, the organization will look after us. So they said, go for it. And one of my cousins, I'm 1 year older than him, he just became a police officer. And when we were just talking a few years ago, we said one day he will wear his police uniform and one day I will wear my crown. So when I saw him graduate, that motivated me to have my crown too.
Hindi ka pwede magpahuli. No, I asked that because like I think it was mentioned during the pageant, right? Like pageantry isn't just about being beautiful. It's very much a disciplined process, comparable to athletes, I would say. And then, diba, parang you always think about when you're gonna peak. When are you gonna? And it's hard to do that when you don't know when the pageant night is gonna be. Well, we found out eventually early 2021, but diba, so I mean, to me, it's amazing that you guys didn't lose focus totally within that long span of time, diba? So, fast forward tayo to Coronation Night. Like, what was going through your head when it was down to, the final finalists? And then one by one, Catriona and Nicole were calling out the winners. Like, what goes on? Like, what thoughts are in your head, or are there no thoughts during those tense few minutes of finally knowing who won?
For me, before they announced the runners up, I was really just like praying, please Lord, please help me be a part of Binibining Pilipinas 2021 as a runner up. that would be amazing. And then when the 2 spots were taken, I was like, oh no, I'm not having a crown this year. And then when there was the one left, apparently a lot of people noticed I looked so nervous because I really thought I would have to come back next year to finish my dream. But I'm so grateful that I was called, and it's been an honor to represent Masbate.
I think your face was full of shock. Like when you were walking, like it wasn't even, like it was just like what like you didn't understand what was happening right away. But
Yes, and it was just so beautiful seeing my sisters from 2019, Gazini and Patch, seeing them
Right.
both in yellow approaching me. I was like, oh my gosh, have I died and gone to heaven? These angels are coming towards me. It was amazing.
mga Diyos ang angels in yellow. How about you guys? What was going through your head while the names were being announced one by one?
Cindy had my favorite reaction. She was so genuinely surprised. Cindy, please tell your story.
Yeah, so thanks, Mao. Definitely, I was so shocked during that night. And when they announced that I'm one of the winners, actually, I looked for Leslie. Leslie, Binibini 32 of Tagum City. And then you can see it in the video. It's very evident. I really looked for her. And I even said, in Bisaya, I even said, Les, tinuod. Yeah, so parang, Les, totoo ba? So, and then the girls were pushing me, go, punta ka na. And then I was so happy. I even approached Emma. We were supposed to do the crowning center stage, but I don't know. I just approached her, and then when she was supposed to crown me, you can see that I even walked away and then go back to.
Ayaw mo.
Yeah, I don't know. It's just so overwhelming.
I'm sure.
I remember seeing that Cindy was so excited. She's like, ah! I was like, oh my God.
You have to go there.
Yeah,
Forgot about your crown.
feel ko talaga ako yung Miss International na parang, oh!
Thank you.
Maureen, how about you? Pinasa mo ka agad kay ano. You passed it right straight to Cindy. How about what was going through your head?
For me, so I was only eligible this year because I had turned 28 the day before the pageant.
Oh gosh. Belated happy birthday.
Thank you so much. I was just like, it is what it is. Whatever God has in store for me is meant for me. And so when I called Miss Glow, I was like, this feels right. And I just enjoyed, and you can see photos. I'm so happy, and it just felt good. Like finally, after so long, we are queens. It felt good, and I was actually, I think the part about being crowned first was I got to see all the other girls. So Cindy Shock, Sam was fine, and then Hannah was just so sweet. So it was really fun. I loved Sam's tears. They were so genuine. Sam, can you tell us about that?
Thank you, host Maureen.
My co-host for this interview.
Yeah. So yeah, you know what? Before stepping on stage, Bea, like I just told myself I'm just gonna let everything go and just have no expectations and just really enjoy the moment. And so yeah, when they called me, if you watch the Zoom version of it, I was like, oh, like I don't know, and I just started crying, and I saw Sam walking towards me, and she's also a good friend of mine, and so we were just kind of like screaming at each other. So yeah, it was a very great moment. I still feel like crying thinking about it.
Well, for me, after the Q&A portion, same with Sam, I just pray and I let go everything. What it is, what it is in my head. That's what in my head. And when they called me as runner-up, I'm really grateful that because the fight is really tough. All the ladies are deserving. And when I was called, I'm really, really grateful. Oh, finally, thank you, Lord.
No, but that's true though, because like when I was reviewing all the candidates, I was like, this is a crazy batch. Like, diba,
Yes.
parang on top of, like, you're all beautiful, obviously, but like, I mean, and plus the fact that the 34 of you managed to hold on for a year and a half almost, just waiting for the pageant to finally happen, like that says a lot about your character as well. So I wanna be a little madrama and a little dramatic. Like, I wanna zoom out and like, at, how old were you, or at which point in your life did you realize that you wanted to join pageantry? Because it's not an easy, like, again, people always think of it as, just like, it's glamorous, diba? The girls are pretty, you wear nice dresses, but it's tough, physically and mentally. So what made you decide to join pageantry, or at which age did you realize that, I want to try this, I want to do this?
Well, yeah, I started really young. My mom always tell me a story that since I was younger, I used to wear her heels, and then I'm gonna walk and I'm gonna try, doing poses. So that's her story. I think I was like 2 or 3 years old, and then
Oh my
growing
god.
up, yes, yes, I used to wear her clothes, her heels. Feel na feel ko talaga. So yeah, growing up, and then I'm exposed to pageantry as well. So it has been always a dream of mine, and I'm really grateful for the experience. But it's really hard, especially Binibining Pilipinas. It's not all about the beauty, the physical appearance, but you also have to have mental fortitude. You have to have character, and you have to be equipped with knowledge, with experience, so that you can share it to others as well.
How about you guys? When did the pageantry dream first come to you?
So this is actually my first pageant ever. And so the pageantry dream came to me when I was 23. I'm 25 now. And that's when I decided that I wanted to join Bini just so I could kind of go out of my own comfort zone. I really wanted to challenge myself and do something new. And, the more or the longer that we were in the pageant, actually, even during the pandemic, I felt that I've grown so much. And, this is really no easy feat to achieve. It's like what Meiji mentioned, it's a lot of discipline, also battle against yourself and your mind.
Right.
And so I'm just very thankful to be Miss Grand with this being my first pageant.
I also agree. For me personally, I was entered in my first pageant, and then I bombed to an A. And then, so about 18 years old, I wanted, and that's, I think, at that time, my late, I want to try again because I wanted to turn my biggest weakness into a strength.
Right.
Yeah, so way back in high school, I've been doing a lot of hosting gigs. I've been doing a lot of hosting stints. And then came the opportunity wherein I got to meet one of my greatest teachers in life and in high school also. And then that time he pushed me to really try the pageantry scene. And then I was like 16, 15, around that age when I joined my first competition. And then I was so happy because joining a pageantry and doing hosting, I was able to relate more with the girls. I can feel them, I can connect, I can react to their feelings. So parang um it molded me into what I am now. And then I'm still so happy because that teacher of mine in high school is now one of my greatest trainers also. So
Wow.
yeah. So ever since he was there, hi Sir Mike, if you're watching, I really dedicate this win to him.
Grabe. Okay, Hannah?
So I was 6 years old when I joined my first pageant. So back in 2002, I was baby queen of San Fernando Masbate, and this was
That's so
so
cute.
memorable. This was so memorable because I just remember the spirit of community. All my relatives were dancing, and I remember going back to school the week after and feeling like I was from Princess Diaries, like I had a double life. So that moment on, I really became so involved in the Philippine community because I live in Australia. So every year, every event they held, I was there, and it was actually all of the teachers of Canberra who encouraged me to join Miss Philippines Australia. And during that pageant, when I was 18, that's when I realized the power of pageantry. That we're bringing awareness to certain causes, we're advocating for what we believe in, and that was the turning point in my life. That I had started my forensics degree, but I told my parents, actually I want to also try like a national beauty pageant.
So we have pala the titas of Canberra to thank for you joining pageant. Okay. I'm also curious because like you mentioned, then several of you mentioned like it's also a mental game. It's very much a mental game, especially during, I'm sure, especially during the Coronation Night, diba? I just want to add this because a lot of people are easy to judge beauty queens for their answers during the Q&A. And like let me tell you, because this was the first time I watched it live in person, like my heart was beating really fast. Like when each of you were going up to answer the questions. Kasi like, a minute? Were you given a minute or was it 30 seconds?
30 seconds.
30 seconds to answer,
Wow.
like difficult questions, philosophical questions sometimes. So like it's definitely not easy, which leads me to my question. Like a lot of people have many things to say about beauty pageants and beauty queens and your performance. Like, how do you deal with that? How do you deal with the noise, the criticism, people who sometimes mean well? It's not always negative. Sometimes I think they genuinely mean well for you guys to improve. But how do you deal with all that pressure and all that noise leading up to a pageant?
Well, for me, I always think that I know myself better, and my close friends, my family, knows me better. So I always hold on to that because ang daming criticism talaga, especially on social media. They expect you to be perfect. They expect you to look
Yes.
good always, to speak well. But we're just human beings as well. And I always go back to that core that you have to have a strong core. You have to know yourself better, and you have to be open, your mind open, your heart humble for improvement.
I agree with Meji. When you're faced with criticism, just know they're judges have probably never competed before. They will never compete, and that's okay.
That's okay.
Yeah, hey. And some people are just so passionate about their stance, and I think it's important now to tell people it's okay to have your own opinions. Not everybody has to think the same way. That's what you know unique. That's what makes us beautiful is our unique perspectives. So when you get hate, brush it off. Deadma attitude all day, every day, and yeah, don't mind it because it will pass. Everything always passes.
Right.
I
Yeah,
agree
so
with.
go
Go
Sam.
ahead.
Are you sure? Yeah, I think the girls would agree that it consumes a lot of energy to read bashers, to entertain criticisms, and let alone respond to them. So I think I would rather use my energy for other important matters, and that matters are really important to me, important for my growth. So grabe talaga, when you join pageantry, hindi mawawala ang bashing, hindi mawawala ang criticism, hindi mawawala ang memes. We all experience that. But we're all entitled to our opinion. So it's definitely okay. How do you handle them? Yeah, the deadma attitude. And it's very important also that you have a strong support system.
I agree. I agree with the three ladies who just spoke about this. And for me, to I realized that with myself, for me to be able to grow, I need to surround myself with positive people, giving me good energy all the time. However, when I do get online bashers, I don't necessarily don't mind them because
Right.
it's inevitable for you not to read them. So sometimes I do go over them, and baka naman they have a point.
Right.
And maybe it's just constructive criticism, but of course, if it gets too much, then dead my attitude all the way.
When I started training in 2018, my mom and dad really told me that those who matter don't mind. And when they said that, they meant that my closest family and friends who truly know me, they won't say too much. They'll wait for me to learn for myself if I make a mistake or what I need to improve on. They didn't want to push too much of their own opinions. And I'm so grateful that every step of the way, I always remembered that those who matter won't mind so much. Of course, they gave me some tips and tricks, but it wasn't in a forceful way. It was super helpful. And recently, my mom sent me this quote. So it's on the side of my laptop. And she told me to read it every day because she recently became more involved on social media. So she saw some of the negative comments. So she would send it to me and she would tell me to say this every morning. So, number one, I am the best. Number two, I can do it. God is always with me. I am a winner. And today is my day. And that really helped me just clear my mind and, remind myself today is my day.
I used to find affirmations funny, and then I tried doing them. They work. Like just putting yourself in a good mindset that, like, who you are, and whatever other people say. Naalala ko lang, I have a friend who she has a term for this. It's called budgeting her pake. So she allocates, like she chooses which things deserve her energy. Like, should she worry about this? Should she worry about that? If she feels like this is not worth my budget, yun, bahala ka, dead ma talaga sa mga ganyan. So yun. Okay, so like we were talking off air, di ba na, you guys, it's been a crazy week for you guys. Media interviews left and right. So you have early call times. So my question with I have a hidden agenda, of course, because I want to know your beauty secrets. Like, what are your beauty must-haves right now? Like, especially when you're like super stressed, commitments left and right. Like, how do you get this ready for an on-cam engagement in the most optimum of ways? Maybe we can start. Whoever wants to start.
Okay, I can start. Well, for me, this is proven and effective as per my personal experience because we always have early call time and then we slept late because we also have trainings. Every morning, I use a facial mask, a Korean mask. It's really cold from the ref, so it's really cold. So, pag nilagay ko sa face ko, nagigising talaga yung diwa ko. I said, wow,
So ano siya, pinipilit mo yung diwa mong magising at maging ready for the day ahead.
yes, but it really helps kasi like malamig siya, nakaka-close siya ng pores and then nakaka-moisturize yung skin. So your skin is ready for another makeup session. So that's my secret and you guys have to try it as well.
Okay, girls, spill. Maureen?
It's all about skin. I think when you take care of yourself, so you can less makeup. So you can just wake up and go. So I always make sure to clean my face every night with micellar water. I have dry skin, so I do moisturizer. Ladies and men, I'm your best friend in the world. Like, once you're 23, 24 plus, I'm telling you right now, it will save you so much money on concealer. And I always put sunblock too because I love to have that fresh glow. And I find when I put a sunblock on foundation, I'm a little more dewy, and I get so many compliments on my skin, and it's something that I invest in. They're not complimenting your makeup; they're really looking at your face.
And the best way the best way is prevention, basically. So listen to her. She has really nice skin. I mean, you're not talking in person, but I can see it. I can't even tell that your skin is dry from the camera. Anyway, sorry, nag-fixate ako sa skin talk, no? Sorry. Cindy?
For me naman, best friend talaga namin ngayon, yung mga vitamin C, energy boosters.
Very tita.
Yeah,
Supplements.
because of the hectic schedule. And siguro for now, let's trust the power of science.
True.
Talagang we won't go wrong if we continue on with drinking energy boosters. It would really help you get through the day.
I agree
Sam?
with Cindy. Yes, I've started taking more collagen for hair, skin, and nails because we need it. And also, one thing I noticed that I couldn't leave my house without, like yesterday when we had a photo shoot or if we're out on a media event, I always need my eyelash glue. For some reason, my eyelashes extensions are always not on fleek.
Cooperating.
Yes, they're not cooperating on this side specifically, so I always need my eyelash glue.
I realized with all of these online interviews, I have a ring light here, and my forehead is so shiny that the ring light is reflecting. So I realized I really need to find a good powder. That's what will be my best friend for the next few media interviews.
Powder is your best friend. But if you're watching, please listen to them. In your 20s, that's the best time to start a good regimen. Like, just prevent all the problems. As someone who is approaching her 30s, please makinig kayo. Wag niyong balahurain yung skin niyo in your 20s. Okay, how about for the beauty pageant? Like, what are your must-haves? What's your secret? When you have to go to events or when you're training, or on the coronation night, like what's a must-have that you need to have on your do you get dressing tables, or is it just like
Yes.
dressing areas backstage?
The floor.
Dressing floor. Okay, so what's on the floor during coronation night? Like, what's the one thing that you need to have with you?
For us, we had a sponsor for our heels for the opening. So we had to make sure we didn't forget that because we were in charge of bringing that ourselves. You need your silicone bra. And what else? I guess actually it went so quickly. I feel like all my stuff ended up everywhere and I ended up borrowing other people's things. So you just kind of go with the flow, and then whatever people offer you, you take it.
I agree. I always had an extra Skyflakes in my bag just in case I was getting so nervous. And of course, we're dieting, during this time, especially for the swimsuit competition. So right after the swimsuit competition, in between the changes, because we only had 5 minutes to change from swimsuit to evening gown, I was able to eat like 2 Skyflakes. So I was like ready for the Q&A as well.
You need the energy to answer those questions. Meiji?
Well, for me, there are two things, intangible and tangible. The first is chocolate. I really need, but it's dark chocolate. Siyempre, kailangan may healthy. Chocolate kasi we eat less carbs, so we need to get the energy from chocolate for me. So that's one. And second is mindset, really. You have to bring that winner mindset everywhere on training and pageant night because we already got it. Everything's prepared. Our clothes, our all the things. Yung kailangan na lang is the mindset na this is it. We need focus, we need discipline, and this is my time. Ganon.
Right.
For me, ako din, I think my number one requirement for a beauty pageant is coffee, because coffee is like
Yes, agree.
super addicted. And there was one day where I didn't have any coffee. I felt so bad. I was yawning the entire rehearsal. Definitely strong coffee. You need to bring some dance moves to lighten the mood, stretch nerves. And then my last tip for a beauty pageant is always have body shimmer, because when the stage lights you, it's extra beautiful when you're shimmering and glowing in the light.
Okay, that's a good tip for if you want to just do aura photo shoots and you're at home, right?
Yeah,
Body
even
shimmer might help.
I always bring body shimmer because you just look extra bongga. Extra.
Cindy?
Yeah, so right now I always bring with me my small sanitizer. Even though we have sanitizing kits all around Araneta, I don't know. I keep on bringing one. Even if we're doing rehearsals, I have it with me, and then I spread it on some of the girls. Like my best friend Leslie, Jai, mag-alcohol ka muna. And then she will tell me, bakit? May hinawakan ba ako? I don't know.
So are you just like quietly spritzing alcohol all over the place during rehearsals?
Yes, even our choreographers, ate, mag-alcohol.
Sana naman you didn't spray on people, right? Like
Yeah.
Yeah,
I
put on
know
the head.
hygiene is very important there. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, we have a few questions from social media. This question I find it funny because this person was very persistent in asking. Question for Hannah, is it true that you are a fan of Bright and Win?
Yes.
Oh, okay.
Oh my gosh. So when lockdown happened, my best friend Isabella was like, Hannah, I'm watching this new Thai series. And I was like, Thai? I was like, okay, let's try. And then, oh my gosh, I got so kilig. They're so cute together. And I'm so excited for their movie.
Thank you for answering. I think this person
Thank you.
asked that question 3 times
Oh
in
my
the comment
gosh.
section. We have also a question for Samantha. I know this is a bit early, but what do you expect in the upcoming Miss Grand International competition? That's from Jairus Vincent Gatan.
I expect a lot of in Filipino what we call kabugan, because you know that Miss Grand is
True.
extra
Yeah,
and out
extra
there.
grand.
Yes, so I'm very excited to join in on that kabugan.
Okay, we have a. This is. I think this is because the question trended. This is from Christian Dulin. Since Tito Boy Abunda's question became a hot topic because it was hard to answer. Like, how would you have answered that question? Or siguro wag na lang na how would you have answered that? Like, what would be going through your head if you're asked a question? Because that was very philosophical, right? Like, there wasn't really like a correct or a wrong answer to that. Like, it was very much deeper meaning of life. So how do you answer those questions? Like you hear it, you have 30 seconds to answer. Like how do you even prepare for that?
I
I
think
think, yeah.
I think it's
Whoever
important
wants to go first.
that when you get a tricky question, because that was a trick question, just to take what you need. So I've been in situations where I get asked questions that I don't like or don't want, and I'm like, okay, I'll take this bit from it. So for me, I would focus on the mental health aspect, and I would just talk about, I would pivot and say a message. And a lot of girls have templated answers as well that you can rely on. So a very common thing is if you don't know what to say, you can talk about having faith, you can talk about hope. So there are some alternative paths that you can take it, but I would definitely just talk about perseverance, about processing your feelings, mourning loss, whether it's the loss of a loved one, of a job, just really feeling everything so that you can use it as fuel and you can turn your pain into purpose and passion, change it into your motivation and, make your weakness your strength. But I have kudos to Karen. She did a great job.
Yeah.
And I hope, I don't think we need to ask trick questions. Of course, they're fun for the fans, but I would love to ask them more clear cut so we can really see the girl,
Right.
not focus on the question.
Right. How about you guys?
The same for me. The first thing that came to my mind when I first heard this question is definitely centering around mental health. And so, yeah, I would say the same thing. It's okay to not be okay because we are in a pandemic. Suicidal rates are high. People are depressed and it's normal. And then I would follow up with saying it's not okay to not be okay when you know that you need help and when you could reach out. And then I would then proceed to encourage people to do that. That's how I would have attacked this question.
Yeah,
Cindy?
so yeah, I think with that very tricky question and given the 30 seconds time limit, I think that it would be very, very difficult to answer it with a lot of things going on in your mind, I think I would focus on the message of hope, message of perseverance, just like Mao, and acknowledge our emotions, just like Karen. And really, I think we need to respect. It all boils down to respect. Eh? Respect the feelings, respect our personal timeline of coping with the things.
Yes, I agree with Cindy actually that we have to recognize, acknowledge the feelings, the negative emotions, the uncertainties, the anxieties. But for me, it's not okay not to be okay when we let these negative emotions, these anxieties control our lives. Because I believe at the end of the day, we have the control of our lives and we have the control to ask for help and to see the beauty in life, to see the positivity in life. And I hope all the people who are struggling with mental health, I myself experienced that during the first quarter of pandemic, and it's really hard. You have to take your time. You have to realize that these things happening in your life is out of control. It's not, it is not something that we can have hold on to. It's just something that what we can control is how to respond and react to this kind of situation. And when we embrace, acknowledge these emotions, we can process it, and finally we will overcome it.
Hannah?
Again, I want to acknowledge Karen. She did so well.
Yeah.
I was in the second batch, so when the first batch was answering their questions, I honestly was just freaking out for my turn. But when I heard that question, I was like, they asked the right girl, because Karen is an advocate for mental health awareness, and the way she answered, I really liked her quote from the movie. So I found that was very impactful. But yeah, just like the other girls have said, during this pandemic, we realized that it's become a normal thing to discuss. We're no longer thinking about the stigma with mental health challenges. I myself went through moments of anxiety and sadness. So it's okay not to be okay, but it's not okay to be not okay when you know that your invisible scars really need treatment and you need to talk to someone.
If anything, I think that's a good thing that came out of this question. And like people, like you see the pageant fans actually actively talking about mental
Yeah.
health. And I think like you girls are good ambassadors to normalize, to help further normalize, discussions of mental health. Because a lot of people are going through things, have gone through things in 2020, diba?
Yeah.
If that was asked of me, I would just crawl slowly out of stage. Tito Boy, ayoko na. Pagod na ako. Give up na lang po. Anyway, okay. Quickly lang, like you were discussing kanina, diba? Like your must-haves were all over the floor. Like, can you take me quickly back? Like, not everyone needs to answer this, but like, can you take me backstage? Like, how chaotic is it backstage during Binibining Pilipinas when you have 5 minutes to change from bathing suit to your gowns? Some of your gowns were like, they don't look easy to put on. Like, they're quite complicated. Like, how do you quick change?
So
Prayers?
so right after the swimsuit, our dressing room is kind of like a 10-second run away with heels on.
Oh
So
gosh.
you run to the dressing room. They tell you, just take off your swimsuit, just throw it anywhere, and we already have our gowns set there, being in the top 13. However, for me, we couldn't find my heels until it boiled down to the last minute, and so everyone was screaming like, "Where's
Oh my
Benilio's
gosh.
heels? Like, where's her earrings?" Because it was all in one bag, and it wasn't with my gown. So I was freaking out too. But thankfully we found it and I put it on, and as I was running back to the stage with those high heels on, there's a makeup artist, following you and retouching you at the same time. So yeah, it was a crazy moment. But I still ate my skyflakes.
You found time. Priorities, diba? You have to prioritize.
And I think we have
yeah.
to get. Sorry.
Go ahead.
I think we also have to acknowledge that everyone was also trying to be super safe because of the
Yes.
IATF protocols. Actually, we had arrows telling us which way we could run, and so it was really like well organized. Thank you, BPCI, Araneta, everyone involved.
I actually think this pageant was less chaotic because of the safety protocols.
Right.
Because normally they try to pack as many girls into an area at once for a pageant just to save space, friendly. But anything really took the time and the care to follow the protocols. We had 12 per room in these large rooms. So we actually had more space for every girl than in a normal pageant, which was an unexpected delight.
More breathing room
Yes.
ish.
I think talaga during that coronation night, we were like triathletes because grabe, as I mentioned earlier, it was a 10-second runaway from the backstage. I mean, the dressing room, and then we were able to do it within just 2 seconds. For me, parang taking 2 or 3 seconds, and then I'm just so happy that all the stylists, makeup artists, hairstylists were able to assist us immediately with the changing from our prod dresses to swimsuit, especially to swimsuit, wherein we needed to adjust the fittings because we don't know the people who would be part of the top 13. So we weren't really able to do dress rehearsals for the swimsuit. For some of the girls, they did, especially for those who have different body types, so that we can test. But really, for the top 13, there was no like trial or testing. So yeah.
Well, during that night, mabilisan talaga everything. So pag after ng production namin, after we like aura-aura pa kami sa stage, but we like runners talaga, run for your life. So I'm really grateful for the organizers, for BPCI for helping us, for doing our retouch and helping us to change. Kubara na talaga, wala nang paki doon, naka-suited ka, naka-kiba ka. It's really crazy, but the adrenaline rush, the excitement, sobrang saya ng experience.
And but these are things that fans and us in the media, we don't see this, but because
Yeah.
when we see you, you're like put together, fresh, diba? Like we had no idea your earrings were missing. Like no one would have been able to tell that. There was a slight panic backstage. So diba, I can't imagine how grueling that is. So anyway, okay. So guys, do you have dates for the pageants that you're competing in? How are we preparing for the international pageants at this point? Or do
I
you
think
get to have a break? Or diretso na ba yun?
for me and Mao, parang wala nang break because we are the one. Yeah, we are the ones to compete first this October. No official announcement yet, but we believe that EPCI is actually finalizing everything. So preparation is now underway for me. I think for Mao also, and we are now on the talks for the national costume, for the evening gown, so that we could really represent well the Philippines.
Now?
Yes,
Since kayo pala yung first.
we're so excited. And honestly, I'm just ready to enjoy. So now I'm just putting together my talent number. We're really picking out keywords to describe the vibe, the aura. And so for me, we're choosing strong, sexy, and fun. So it's gonna be just a really good time. I'm going to do everything. I'm not going to stress myself out with this pageant. Because when you're younger, I really put so much unnecessary pressure on myself, and it takes a little bit of the fun out of it. So this time around, I'm just going to enjoy it 110%. But maybe I'll have a little break in between, but we're going to jump right into preparation for the international competition.
Sam?
What I hear is that MGI will still be on December, so I still have around 6 months to prepare. So like Maureen, I think I'm gonna have a little break in between just to celebrate a little bit more, and then after I'm diving right into it. I'm actually meeting my team this weekend, so we can start discussing our strategy and our future kabogan kabogan moves for this pageant. So I'm very excited, especially for the national costume and the evening gown.
Hannah?
I believe Miss International will be in November. They're finalizing the schedule also, so I'll hear very soon. And I'm so excited for this because I have been to Japan before, so I'm so excited to return. And like the culture is just so beautiful. I did a homestay there before, so I'm super excited. So definitely, I need to. Rekindle my Japanese. And one of the most important parts of Miss International is the speech. So I want to make sure that is the most powerful thing I can give. So I would love to meet up with our past representatives, our past winners, Ati Bea, Ati Kylie. I'm just super excited to start planning, but we'll wait for our schedule with our media interviews.
Meiji, ito, medyo pressure this question, no? Kasi like, a lot of binibini na runners-up, di ba? They end up shining so much more like in the years that follow. What's next for you? Alam ko it's kind of early. You just got crowned. But like, I'm sure that's what pageant fans are thinking this early on.
Well, I'm really grateful that I woke up this morning with the good news that I have an opportunity, a chance to achieve another dream of mine. And abangan ninyo, makikita nyo pa rin ako lagi.
Ay, taray, may teaser.
Wow,
May
ito
teaser.
So marami pa rin po kayong aabangan. And I'm really happy here talking to you, to be on camera. So I think it really opened so many doors, so many opportunities. So this is it. So exciting. Road ahead.
O, diba? May teaser na, may
Your
teaser siya
abangan.
dito sa interview. Okay. I have one last question, but before that, we'll do a very, very quick game. Hopefully, gumana siya despite, the internet in the Philippines. So, I'll just ask you questions that the answers will be one of the five of you. So, I'll ask the question, I'll count down to 3, and then you can just say who the name of whoever fits the bill. Hopefully, pray to God na lang that I can tell who said what or who named
Or
who.
do we all still have the same view? Can we point?
That's
Yeah.
Okay.
Can we
Oh yeah,
point?
so
Yeah.
this we're 6 right now, right?
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah.
Sige. Okay, yeah, you can point at each other. Oh, smart.
Wow.
Thank you. I didn't realize. Oh, sige. Second co-host, Hannah. Okay. Okay. First question. Who takes longest to get ready? Okay. Longest to get ready? Oh, what?
Bibi number
Hannah,
one.
hindi ako binibini. Huwag mo kayo
Number one.
Sam, defend yourself. Ay, defend yourself ba? Aminado ko. Ikaw naman pointed at yourself.
Yes, I was, especially during coronation because like Marie mentioned earlier, you need shimmer and I was in the bathroom, right? I was just like, basically in my undies and just drying myself for the shimmer for like 2 hours. Really. So
Parang
yeah, aminado
nakabuti
naman
siya
ako.
But despite being the longest to get ready, you managed to sneak in a snack during coronation night. So
True that.
props to you for that.
Thank you.
Okay, who is ready the fastest? Maureen, how fast?
Honestly, sometimes I just roll out of bed and go.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
Skincare, guys. If your skin is nice, you can do that every day.
Honestly, I think it's the model mindset because when you go to castings, you're not allowed to have head makeup. So I'm just using a little bit of lip gloss.
Yes,
Okay.
actually.
Okay, ito, I don't know if you're gonna be able to answer this because of the protocols. You're not allowed to really take masks off and eat together. I guess, diba? Together, but we'll see. So, who's the most matakaw in the group? Bakit parang
Yeah.
what? Hannah? Oh yeah, but you did mention kanina you
Yeah.
during work. Okay, explain how though. Like, how are you matakaw? And still
Hmm.
maintain a figure like that?
I guess because our location is here in Araneta, we have so many amazing sponsors. So there's like Taco Bell, Dairy Queen, and I'm always hinting to the ates. I'm like, when are we having milk tea? And then whenever the lunch would come, I would like run up and get mine first, or I'd ask, does anyone have like leftovers?
Like, wala bang nachos dito?
Yeah.
Wala bang extra nachos? Then you have Pizza Hut pa. Oh my gosh, oo nga.
Yes, but I think because the rehearsals was just so full on, it was so fun, lots of dancing. That's how we all managed to shake it all off.
Okay, so who's the mom of the group? Who takes care of the other girls so far?
Wow.
Ikaw pala yung mommy, hindi ka aware. But now you know, you're the mommy of the group.
I
It's
think
Wow.
I'm very opinionated, and I've done pageants before. I'm also 28.
Right.
I think I'm the oldest. So for me, yeah, if the girls need something, tara na, okay, I'll ask.
So she's the unofficial spokesperson for the group.
Yeah.
If people are shy to ask something. Okay,
Yeah.
so on the flip side, who's the iyakin or the softie in the group?
Hannah.
Hana,
Hannah?
aminin mo na.
Hmm.
You didn't cry though. Did you cry? Or hindi, it wasn't halata if you cried when you were crowned.
Me? Ako?
Yeah.
Yes, I super cried because my
Oh, you
parents are,
did?
yes, my parents are in Australia, so it was very like in the moment I was like, oh my gosh, my parents are on the other side of the camera. All we could see was like a red light wherever the camera was, so I was looking for the red light and I was like, oh my gosh, my parents, they're on the other side. And then of course when I saw Patch, we both started crying together.
Okay, last question for this game. Whose closet would you want to raid with permission, of course? Who are we pointing at?
Reggie,
Everyone.
Reggie or Sam?
Yeah.
Sam or Meiji? Bakit? Why are your closets enviable? Or what? Maybe the other girls can explain. Like, was it
Yeah.
the sense of style?
Yes, I
Yeah.
love. She is just legs, and I love it. She's very model-esque and very fashion. And then Sam is also very playful with her fashion. So I really like both of their style because they wear things that they're not. They're never boring.
Thank you, Mao.
Yeah, thank you to my stylist. Hi, Mac.
Okay, inutos ng producer ko. Shout out now to those who are watching. Thank you for watching this Rappler talk. I have one final question for you guys. Tapos na yung game, but I have one final question for you guys. Sorry, medyo Q&A yung dating ng question na to, no? But I'm sure you'll be able to answer this easily. So, what's one thing that you think people misunderstand about beauty pageants and beauty queens? Whoever wants to start.
Me, okay. Well, right now I'm really grateful that the pageantry has really evolved. It has been redefined. A beauty pageant now is with relevance and a girl with a purpose. It's not all about beauty, but it's about how you use the platform to reach more people and to advance your advocacy that close to your heart. And I'm really grateful that we are in an era right now that the pageantry, we can talk a lot of issues, especially mental health, like what Tito Boy asked. I think his goal really is to elevate the discussion. And through the beauty queens, we discuss it and we started to normalize some personal issues and make it a public interest. So I hope that we queens, we continue to carry this purpose.
Thank you. Charot.
Thank you.
Maureen?
I think the big misconception is that it is just purely about beauty. But now what we're seeing is that the best speakers are the ones who are winning these pageants. It's no longer about beauty of face, it's beauty of the mind, beauty of the heart. And our new tagline is the new beautiful for Binibining Pilipinas. And I find that so fitting. And nowadays, when you become a queen, you really do become a representative of the Philippines. And it's such an honor. So I hope we can continue to uplift and inspire our fellow kababayans and to really give back to the community because I have a feeling that the Philippines is going to bounce back from this pandemic and hopefully soon. So let's keep pushing. That enough. We're almost there.
Yeah.
Thank you, Conde. Joke lang. Okay, who wants to go next?
Yeah, for some people, beauty pageants are just all about the glitz and glamour, but they don't realize that it has now evolved. That pageants have become purposeful, most especially contenders have become beacons of hope during these trying times during the pandemic. And I think it's very important also that we do have pageants like Binibining Pilipinas or some other pageants because this is an opportunity. This is a platform for us to widen our influence. You see, just by being a part of a prestigious competition, we were able to partner with a lot of organizations, with a lot of NGOs and even government organizations, some business communities, entities, and that we were able to help with relief operations. So it's not all about just a display of beauty, but it's really a display of character. It's about the causes we believe in.
Maybe Sam first, and then let's go to Hannah.
Sure. I think that Meiji and Maureen and Cindy beautifully covered our points here. However, I do also want to emphasize that there's so many things that happens in the background before getting to this point. Like Cindy mentioned, we did have a lot of opportunities to help out with different units and different NGOs. And it really does take a village, I think, to raise a queen because there's so many people who help you throughout the way. There's so many people involved for one beauty contestant to get to a national stage like Binibini itself and during the journey as well. And so I hope that people realize that and that there's really a lot of work to be put in to be a beauty contestant.
Hannah?
The biggest misconception is that we're girls competing with each other, but we are women empowering each other. If people have a look at the 34 Binibinis that we had this year, you would see that we are so diverse. We really celebrated an infinite variability of women. We all have different backgrounds. Me, I'm a scientist. Cindy works in the tourism. Mal makes her own clothes and gave back to her community. Sam is also a chef, and Meiji is an incredible speaker, and I know she's going to be a journalist one day. So if people look beyond the beauty, like the hashtag was in 2019, Beyond Beauty, you would see it's really the inner beauty that we are showcasing. And Binibining Pilipinas even had a no filter campaign this year, and it was so beautiful just to show our flaws, that we're perfectly imperfect.
And I hope that continues now, that people having a more open mind. Because pageants have changed through the years. They're not the same as they were like 50 years ago or even 20 years ago. Like it's very much a platform to amplify your message. And I want to thank the five of you here for using your platform properly. Hopefully we see more from you in the coming months. Thank you so much for joining us today. I know
Thank
it's been a
you,
crazy week
Thank you
for
for having
you.
us.
Salamat sa pagsingit ng Rappler sa schedule nyo. Good luck. We'll be watching you guys and cheering you on. Again, thank you for what you're doing, and we're excited to see what you're going to do next. And thank you for watching, those who sent in questions, those who watched, those na makulit mag-comment para itanong namin yung question namin. This has been Beko Pin. You've been watching Rappler. Support our girls. Wait, before we end pala, what are your social media handles so they know where to follow you guys? Yung official handles nyo. Kasi I'm sure marami na nagsusulputan ng mga newly created and fake accounts. So maybe let's start with Meiji and then all the way up to Hannah.
Okay. Hi guys, thank you for watching, and please follow my Binibini Sisters Journey to International Stage, and please follow my social media accounts. On Instagram, I am bb.meijicruz, and on Facebook, I am Meiji Cruz, the official page. Please follow and see you there.
Hi guys, thank you for watching. You can follow me on Instagram, Facebook, and YouTube at Maureen Montang and on TikTok at @MauRay.
Wow.
TikTok sample.
Mamaya, mag-ano tayo, we can have a TikTok seminar kasi hindi ako magaling mag-TikTok. Okay, Cindy?
Yeah, once again, daghang salamat to everyone who rallied behind us. Thank you, Rappler, for having us. You can follow me actually on the different social media platforms. I have Instagram and Facebook at Cindy Obenita. And also, you can follow BB Pilipinas or Binibining Pilipinas on Facebook and YouTube, and even on Instagram for more updates.
Sam?
Everyone, yes, thank you so much for tuning in today. And of course, thank you to Rappler, the producers, and of course to our host, Bea, for having us. And so you can also follow me on my social media accounts on Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, and TikTok. And the name is at Samantha Panilio, but Instagram does have an underscore afterwards. And as Cindy mentioned, please also do follow the Binibining official pages for more updates, for more of our activities this coming months.
Thank you, Rappler and Ati Bea, for having us, and thank you to everyone who's watching. So my Instagram is at ArnoldHan _ because people used to say, "Hey Arnold," so it's ArnoldHan _ my Facebook page is Hannah Constantino Arnold, but you can add me on my profile, which is Hannah Arnold. There's probably a lot, but I hope you can find it.
Thank you, ladies, for this fun chat. I will now let you go kasi hopefully you can sneak in a nap or two until your next media engagement. Thank you for watching. Please support them, follow them on social media, follow Binibining Pilipinas on social media. This has been Bea Copen. You've been watching Rappler. Bye, guys. Thank you.
Bye.
Thank
Thank you.
Bye, Bea.
Ano ba yan? How do you do that? Okay, wag na natin pilitin. Thank you.
Bye,
Thank you,
everyone.
girls.